The Cybersecurity Balancing Act all corporations face is how to cost-effectively be compliant with government rules and regulations while spending on only the most productive cyber risk management initiatives. Yet another example of a pay now or pay maybe much more later executive dilemma, a perfect candidate for pro-enterprise management analytics. How much should you be spending on cybersecurity and cyber risk management? $100,000? $100 million? And what exactly should you be spending your limited resources on? To answer these questions, you'll need to know the true ROI of cyber risk management. When the retailer giant Target was hacked in 2013, the resulting gross cost was some $252 million. However, all but $105 million was covered by insurance and tax deduction credits. The $105 million represented less than 0.1% of annual revenue, and while its reputation was hit, it recovered that within less than 6 months or so. On the other hand, the credit reporting giant Equifax has spent nearly $1.4 billion in cleanup costs as well as overhauling its information security program following its massive 2017 data breach that impacted half of all Americans. The resultant revenue losses appear to continue. Cybersecurity is a complex issue. There are no cookie-cutter solutions despite rhetoric to the contrary you hear in the marketplace. According to IBM, just 38% of global operations claim that they are equipped and able to handle a complex cyber attack, even as there has been a 200% increase in the number of destructive malware attacks over the past year. One thing we have learned is that larger companies are much more able to survive cyber attacks and their consequences. However, this is unfortunately not the case for small and medium-sized businesses. According to the National Cybersecurity Alliance, as many as 60% of hacked small and medium-sized businesses go out of business within 6 months. The current practices of corporate valuation of cybersecurity fall short of informing the CFO and the Chief Information Security Officer of the benefit and value of cybersecurity. The valuation of cybersecurity and cyber risk management spending must answer both the question of what happens if we make the investment, that is, what is the long-term enterprise value created or protected if the investment is made, and the often underaddressed or unaddressed second question of what happens if we do not make the investment? That is, what is the amount of corporate value at risk if the investment is not made? To measure the ROI of cybersecurity spending, we must consistently quantify the answers to both of these questions. Like all corporate decision support analytics, this must be done credibly and efficiently using the best available information. Let's consider a company that has a major information security program overhaul scheduled for the 3rd year of its 5-year long-term plan. The Chief Information Security Officer had lobbied for the overhaul to be in the next year's budget. However, due to the usual budget crunch, the CFO postponed this among other spends. Concerned about the risk associated with postponing the overhaul, the Chief Information Security Officer hired a cybersecurity consulting company to perform an assessment, including penetration testing. The cybersecurity consulting company identified 2 security vulnerabilities: error message information that could reveal system backdoors for hackers, and old test application programming interfaces called APIs that could allow hackers a direct path into the main enterprise resource planning system. We will be using 2 important pro-enterprise management innovations: the tipping point of a material consequence and narrative-based analytics. Pro assessments use the concept of the tipping point of a material consequence to specify the triggering risk event that leads to undesirable material that is significant consequences. The Chief Information Security Officer suggested that there were two tipping points with respect to their concerns. The first tipping point is prior to the planned security system upgrade. Hackers use error message information to reveal a system backdoor, resulting in a breach of customer data across their device customers. The second tipping point is prior to the planned security system upgrade. Hackers use old test APIs, revealing a path to the ERP system, resulting in a breach of customer data cutting across all of their customers. When asked, the consultant stated that she believes there is a small chance of a customer data breach resulting from the error message's vulnerability, perhaps a 5% chance over the next 3 years prior to the cybersecurity overhaul. However, the consultant believes the exposure of the main ERP system created by the old test APIs represents a greater risk, with more like a 10% chance of a customer data breach over the next 3 years. The cybersecurity consultant suggested a patch would significantly reduce both risks. The cost of the patch included a one-time software license fee and software contractor labor totaling $135,000. The question for the CFO and the Chief Information Security Officer is whether to mitigate the risk of these interim vulnerabilities now or wait 3 years for the information security program overhaul. The CFO didn't think that the spend was warranted, but requested that a pro assessment be made to determine the ROI on the $135,000 spend. Watch part 2 of this video series to understand how to use narrative-based analytics to determine the true return on investment for cyber risk management. Contact us and apply Pro Enterprise Management Analytics to determine your best value cybersecurity plan and cyber risk management initiatives. For more information, check out our website and pick up a copy of my latest book, Problem, Risk, and Opportunity Enterprise Management.